Hello everyone, and welcome to another video in our series of talking about the hex editor 010 hex editor. So in this video we are going to be looking at this very important feature available in the 010 editor, which is called inspector. And what actually inspector does is it interprets the data or the values that you highlight or you select within the file. So for example, if we go and select 1 byte, or even if like you just place the cursor over here, you can see that it's telling you that this is a signed byte, okay, and unsigned byte. Both are referring to the value 72. It's 1 byte, and if it's a signed short or an unsigned short, these are 2 bytes. As you can see, once you click on them, by the way, shows you that a signed short or an unsigned short are actually 2 bytes again, while a signed byte and an unsigned byte are actually 1 byte. Okay, also if we look at the signed integer, it will be 4 bytes. As you can see, it will highlight those automatically for you. You can see this is also telling you an unsigned integer. These are like the tool can interpret them as an unsigned integer, which is also 4 bytes, and then give you that number as an unsigned integer, or maybe 8 bytes if it's a signed integer 64-bit, or an unsigned integer 64-bit. So it's telling you that these are 8 bytes. Okay, so when you click on any of these, it will show you the length of that value, and it will interpret that value for you automatically. Okay, so again, if I go, for example, here 6C, it will tell you 6C, by the way, is 108 as a signed byte. It's 108 also as an unsigned byte. And if we go to the signed short, which is 2 bytes, excuse me, you'll see it got highlighted automatically. If we go to this one, which is an unsigned short, it's also 2 bytes. If we go to the signed integer, which is 4 bytes, it will automatically highlight those for you. Okay, so as you can see, this is actually interpreting these values automatically for you. So once you select, for example, these 2 bytes, so if you know these 2 bytes are, let's say, a signed short, then we know that this is 101. If we know that this is actually 4 bytes and they represent an unsigned integer, then we know here that this value is 2097263. This is the value over here. Now you might be saying, why do I need this, or why would I be doing all of this? Think of it like this. Sometimes you might be carving a file out and you need to understand, for example, you might be carving a file out from some unallocated disk space, okay, and that file format, so let's say that file format, within the binary structure of that file format, you have a field which represents the size of the file. Again, we have a binary file, so this is not a binary file, this is a text file. If we probably open a binary file again, let's go open our notepad again, which is a binary file or an executable. So if we know that these 4 bytes, just an example, by the way, if we know that these 4 bytes represent the size of the file, so what that means is I will know what is the offset to this area, okay, within the file, because it will have a structure, and it will say, if you go to offset 40 and then pick 4 bytes, that represents the size of the file. So what that means is then probably I can find the size, which here is saying the size, if it's unsigned integer, for example, it's 24, 70, 78, 670. So that's the value over here. So that's in bytes, by the way. That's in bytes, not in megabytes, not in kilobytes, etc. So keep that in mind. And then what you'll do is you will go and carve out, for example, maybe that number of bytes and say, this is my file. We will be doing that later in this video series. But for now, just remember that This is a very important feature available to you that you can use to actually parse fields or entries within a file and understand what do these fields or what do these values actually represent. Okay, so that's it for this video. See you in the next one.